I skipped university at 19, and for 3 years I couldn't normally sleep, lived in fear, and constantly questioned whether I made the biggest mistake of my life. Now I'm 21, I'm building a business, tried growing an audience, and it gave me a better direction of where I want to go with my life. But here's the truth, skipping university didn't remove pressure, it replaced it. If you're ambitious but unsure about your next move, this video is for you. I'll break down how I got rejected 3 times wanting to become a pilot, why I didn't choose any other major, what skills I gained, and how one gap year changed my whole life. Let's dive in. I indeed got rejected 3 times, and I had this very big dream of becoming a pilot. It was a dream from my childhood, and I really wanted to get in the Estonian Aviation Academy. And why is it so special for me is because I did so many things to get there, because the competition to get and become a pilot in Estonia is very severe. Out of 100 people, they take 8, and you gotta be in these 8 best people. So what I did is I went shadowing one day to become a student in their university. I went there 2 times and completed courses. I also went and spoke to real pilots to get their opinion about my possibility to get into, and they gave me some advices, and my face even was published in the newspaper because I got to meet the CEO of X-Fly, right? Nordica. This is an Estonian airline here. And it was so insane. And I remember a few days before going for an interview, I was preparing this whole presentation about my passion for aviation to maximize my possibility to get into that. And I remember it was July 2023, 10 a.m. My whole future's on the line. I thought at first like this. And I was prepared as hell. And as you got it right, I didn't get in. And when I didn't get in, I felt broken. I felt like my heart was stabbed with a knife, which made me afterwards work at the airport. And I worked there for almost a year, really wanting to become a pilot the second time. And long story short, I applied 3 times and got rejected. And it led to the gap year that changed it all. But I would love to start with what made me not choose any other major. And there were 2 quotes that really helped me. The first one is, if you do what everyone does, you will get what everyone gets. And I operated from the standpoint of fear, right? I was really scared to be average. I was scared to, I wanted either to become a pilot or become no one. I didn't have any plan B. And the second one is that we focus so often on things that are important and so little on what really matters. And it was a light bulb moment for me, because isn't this crazy that we are ready to commit for 3-4 years to become someone that we don't know we belong and we want to become, or some are ready to spend thousands and hundreds of thousands euros or dollars on tuition without ever finding out what we really want and what we're good at. And some of the examples that I had when I used to work at the airport, being a 19-year-old kid, I had this, friend colleagues, and I had this female colleagues, and one of the girls that worked there, she finished school with a gold medal as me. And I found out that she went and applied to the university, had 3 months studying there, and she dropped out because it wasn't something that she wanted to do. And I found this ridiculously and really crazy. So how the gap year changed my life, because I just want to cover how one decision or a little bit of patience, stepping into unknowingness, can help you. So I started working at the airport, plus hitting the gym very consistently and filming content. I always had this passion that I wanted to be online. I wanted to be in the spotlight. I wanted to, I don't know, I was a braggy kid. I really liked showing off, and that's what I thought I could do. And talking about my routine, if you can see here in the picture, I used to wake up at 2 a.m. because my shift started at 3 or 4, and I used to drive to the gym, get a workout in, then work at the airport, and have another session. And while I was at the gym, I filmed some content. I was so lost, I even considered becoming a software developer. It was December 2023. So here on the left in the picture, it's one of my friends who had like 5 years in the university, and I was thinking more and more about this, and it drove me crazy. Like, this guy was making the salary that I would not ever want in my life, and it was, as society tells us, and my parents told us, like a prestigious job, and like, oh, it doesn't really make sense, you know what I'm saying? I was so desperate that I also wanted to become a personal trainer. I even applied for a course, right? I took a course and I spent my last money, like $1,500 it cost or something like this, and I didn't complete it because I thought like, okay, I don't want to do this. Like, I've been in sports my whole life, and I had authority, I thought, to teach people, and we'll get there about not having enough like educational degree and still doing the job. So afterwards, I had this mindset shift. I'll tell you a story. I was sitting at the airport, and we had this job where you could, you know, spend few hours not doing anything, and it actually helped me a lot. And I remember there were colleagues, my colleagues, besides these girls that I told you, a lot of guys who were 28 but looking like 40, and I was scared as hell to have the same life as they had, right? And I remember someone, you know, just touch my shoulder. I turned around. I was reading Robert Greene, The 48 Laws of Power, and they told me, what you're reading, I also read, and it's not something that you should be playing with. Life is not like this, what you're reading, and you will not make it. And it drove me absolutely nuts. I didn't tell him anything, but this thought just went in my head on and on and on the whole time I was working there, and I wanted to quit so badly. That's why I feel like for every student, for everyone who is in the university, it's a crucial experience to it's crucial to experience something like a white-collar job, a blue-collar job, where you work at the office or you do something for other people, like very mundane tasks. It's very important. So January to April 2024, it was a very big thing for me. I started creating content on TikTok. I wanted to become someone because I saw many people doing it, and I was like, man, why can't I do this? And by the way, there is a video from me that I posted just recently about how I, gained 160K followers on TikTok and on Instagram as well. Check this out. And I started working 3 jobs and filming content because I filmed myself, but I understood that my content lacked quality. I worked as a tutor in the first picture. I remained and worked at the airport. And also I started working at school as an English teacher and PE teacher. And isn't this crazy that I'm someone, and then I started to realize, like, it's crazy. I don't have any degree. People study 5 years to get a job working at school here in Estonia. And I thought, like, man, isn't this insane? I'm doing their job, and they don't care about my degree. They cared about what I knew and how I behaved and every other stuff besides the degree. April to August 2024, it was a light bulb moment for me again, like epiphany that's possible when I started gaining some traction and some views. My videos really popped off. I didn't know what I was doing, but it helped me to realize that it is possible. It's possible to become someone online and live the life of freedom, or do something that the only minority can do. You know what I'm saying? And afterwards, in September 2024, I hit my first 100K, and I was on cloud 9. I couldn't believe my eyes, because in May I started with 10K. Right, from January to May, I only got 10K, and then I 10x'd in 3 months what I was working on. It was absolutely insane. In September 2024 until now, I had an honor to become a public speaker and tell about my story, about my 2024 on stage. I also traveled with my girlfriend to Asia, to Thailand, and many other countries. I really understood how to make viral videos, and I gained some money from it a little bit because there were some sponsorships, and it just made me realize that it's possible to live another life and not only pursue going to the university. You know what I'm saying? And in the fourth picture, I finally started my business. I found what I'm good at. I found that people sticked and they really enjoyed what I did. So I scaled it a little bit and still scaling it. So I wanted to share 3 ideas. And the first one is that gap year wouldn't work for me if I partied, traveled, didn't network, didn't seek what I could be good at, right? And forget everyone who you see in the Lambo being 15, 14 years old, 21, 22, 23, 24, is that how do they have all figured out? Like, they don't have it figured out. That's the thing. They just found something that I believe they went there with just into unknowingness, and they were not scared. They were scared and just they embraced it, and they became really good at this one skill that they could monetize online, because it's just a marketing skill what you do online. They were charismatic, they had a story to tell, and people were inspired. That's what they did. And I really like this Hormozi quote: "There's no perfect way to live your 20s. You either live them up and become an underskilled 30-year-old, or you work them up and become an underlived 30-year-old. And it can't be something that I would be against. The second thing is that I understood, for me and for everyone in the world, it can be the same, that volume created luck for me. By drastically increasing the number of attempts, I made it statistically unreasonable not to find something where I belonged. And also I had, and I still have, nothing to lose. We as young people are so scared that we're not going to make it and we're just going to become failures. But if we just pause for a moment and actually realize that we have nothing to lose, like we are no one. And we can always, if we finish school well, I finished school well, even right now, if I don't make it, I can not take a gap year, but I can study chemistry for a year and go and become a doctor. Like, I believe that I can do this. So it's just whether you have these ambitions to find something that you're very passionate about and do it and make a history and leave your mark on the world. And I was always scared of not doing this, not living the life that I wanted and not making the money that I wanted, right? To live the life of freedom. The third one is that I got to understand what made me anxious. And I also talked about one of my students about this when he had a little bit of a depression, is that the thing that makes us anxious is having a lot of options and no priorities. Like, every time I have a lot of things on my plate to do and I don't have something that I can start with or something that I already, tick the box, and I start doing something, then another thing, then juggling it all, and you can't really become good at something. That's why you're bad at everything. Which leads us to number 3, third chunk, is that what skills and knowledge I gained after 3 years. And I also would love to provide you some walkaway value that you could reflect or think about, right? And is that here are many. The first one is relying purely on myself. Everything is my fault. It sounds severe, but it just helped me a lot. It helped me a lot because I couldn't blame anyone. I was like, even though this guy fucked me up, it's my responsibility that I couldn't see something in him or test him somehow or do something, The second thing is sales, marketing, content creation. I got to understand, I'd never wanted to become an entrepreneur, but once I saw how cool it is and how much freedom I have, and purely relying on myself, because entrepreneurship, if you fuck it up, it's on you, mate. Like, it's for sure on you, and it was on me. And I learned sales, marketing, content creation, how to sell. I had to sell people, and no one bought anything at first, and it was very beneficial. Also learning how to learn, and I think it's one of the most vital things, because when we're at school, we're just given things, and when we're at the university, we're given things to learn, and I still believe it's very easy. But once you're just put into the cell with these tigers and you don't know what to do and you have to find your way out of there. That's what makes it hard, because there are so many things that you can learn. And any business that start, any gurus tell you, e-commerce, service business, educational business, information business, like info business, so many things, and you didn't know what to learn, who to trust. And I learned this, and it was very important for me. Also, focusing and saying no. They're so important. Everything in this list. Saying no when you have a lot of opportunities and actually sticking with something that you believe have this highest possible ROI, right? Return on investment. Something that will help you the most, or provide you the most, or give them bigger opportunity in the future, right? And which leads to finding what you can be good at. And I found what I was good at. The thing is that no one cared about my paper, and it's very funny because I started a little business like coaching people to get better results at the gym, also tutoring them English-wise, and I didn't teach English some kids. I had like really professional people, also entrepreneurs and magicians and people who are like above 40, 30. Like, it was very interesting how expertise and your convincing tone of voice, articulation, and actually expertise can help you. So building skills is very important. Also, I got to understand is that successful people aren't smarter than me. I like this Russian entrepreneur, Mikhail Takavinin. Maybe I'll put a picture. He said this very interesting phrase that entrepreneurship is not for the smart, it's for the brave. That's for sure. Because everything when it comes to entrepreneurship is against you. Everything that you do. So it's for the brave and who can actually take risks. So I started with the most risk-free thing to have an educational business, info business. It's always like very risk-free. It's just about learning the skill and then selling and marketing. And number one thing is knowing that it's possible to make it. Many people just don't get this little thing to understand that everything, they are the same and they can do this. Like people online, with my first video popped off, it was such a relief because I thought it was impossible. I thought I would be in this 200, views jail or something. And then I got to understand that it's not. Like, I could do this. And also asking why. Every time I post something, I asked why, currently. Before I was a dumbass, I didn't do this, and it's very funny. But asking why in the past was such a beneficial thing for me. Like right now, sorry. So these are the things. And I also want to provide you some walkaway value and something that you can reflect on. It consists just of a few questions, is that, do I want to make a lot of money, and how much is a lot? Because personally for me, I didn't think even about 10K a month. For some people it's a dream and they end up making it only at 40 or 30 plus years old. And I didn't want this. I wanted to become a millionaire when I was 30 already and not end up only when I'm 30 making 10K a month, And if it's the case for you that you don't want to make a lot of money, then pursuing university can be a great and very safe path for you. But if you want to make a gazillion amount of money, white collar, blue collar job, even a professional job, being a dentist will not bring you that much money. The only thing what you can make money is starting a business, and it's like truth that I got to understand. And the thing that everyone is scared, like we young people are scared about, is that we will not make it. Like, we will not make it on social media and business and stuff. But once again, you have nothing to lose, especially when you're like 20 to 25, right? Because afterwards, you will have a girlfriend, you will have your lover, you will probably get engaged and married, and then you'll have a kid. And it's always easier to go and build these skills rather than catch up, right? It's just like going all in at first. The second thing is, do I really want to study this major and can I learn it online? If it's business, like I was always like very interesting why people go and study business. If it is online and there are a lot of stuff that you can read like books. But of course, if you want to become a doctor, a dentist, a lawyer, you will not do this online. You have to go to the university. And if it's your dream and you really want to do this, please, if you don't get accepted the first time, try again. Just try again and don't choose any other major. I want you to achieve your dream. I want you to pursue it. And I don't prevent myself from becoming a pilot. I know that if I can make money off my thing where I became pretty successful at or becoming successful at or good at, I can always become a pilot. Like I can pay for this tuition. I just didn't have this opportunity and option before and I thought I was lost and that's it. But you always can find ways, you know what I'm saying? And the third thing is that, am I willing to look stupid if I don't go to the university for 2 or 4 years? Because I looked stupid. Like I took my camera, this camera right here, and I didn't know how to film. And I was very awkward and clumsy on camera. I didn't even know what I was talking about. I didn't know how many people made money. So that's why I had this whole 2-3 years being a dumbass and understanding that I didn't know anything and having this imposter syndrome and Dunning-Kruger effect, everything. I got to meet so many people that taught me things and I became better thanks to them. So my whole one message, I would go back to this slide, is that we focus so often on things that are important and so little on what really matters. I'd love to, dive a little bit deeper on this one because it's actually very insane that we overthink so unimportant things, what we wear, what some people think when they don't even care in the first place. And they will not care because we'll all die and they will live their life and they will move on. But when it comes to choosing a university, to be like, okay, I didn't get here, I'll go to another major. Isn't it dumb? Like, man, like you don't want to study this. Listen to your heart. Don't be scared. 1 year, everyone is there, and it is like crazy because when I worked at the airport, there was this one guy. I used to be in a national team of Taekwondo, or there was this one guy who came up to me, and I was like working at the airport. They were flying for a competition, and be like, "Oh, you're going to serve us now, right? Good job, good luck." And I felt so bad inside. I didn't want to work this job and I had to find this way out, you know what I'm saying? So if you want to become a doctor, if you want to become a dentist, if you want to become a lawyer, you know that this is your passion, go and pursue it. And if you don't get the first time there, go find a tutor and start hustling to get there once again. Because whatever path you choose a path worth suffering for. Because growth is painful. Stagnation is painful. And falling down is painful. So choose a path worth suffering for. Choose a goal worth pursuing. And go all in. I hope this one was helpful. Check this video out about how I became a content creator, grew to 160K, and I didn't get anything from it besides experience. And I don't want you to build something that looks successful but doesn't actually mean nothing. Peace.